Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for joining. I appreciate the opportunity to share my story with you. This story I'm going to tell is about my journey on Google Cloud. And it is a journey of a reinvent from a Java developer to an AWS cloud architect, and then change the course to Google Cloud. It is a journey of crawl, walk, run. First, let me introduce myself. Oh, before I start the presentation, I just to share good news. A Pocket publisher asked me to share some giveaway. We'll give 3 books to the people listening. By the end, James will draw 3 winners, and they can choose book they want, not necessarily this one displayed here. So choose wisely. Okay, I'm a Google Cloud architect now. I'm fully certified on Google Cloud with all 11 certifications. And I'm a Google Cloud champion innovator, specialized in databases, security and networking, data analytics, 3 of them. I just got this last year. You can see all in August. And I have been working on Google Cloud since 2017, which is less than a quarter of my entire career. I had been a Java developer since last century, from 1999 to 2015. I enjoyed programming and solving business problems. I worked in banking, airline booking, startup, and the big tech company. You can see Sabre logo inside all the employer list. So my specialty was Java and other JVM languages, such as Groovy and Scala. I used to be an expert in object-oriented programming and functional programming. This photo was taken last year with the reference to this famous or infamous sticker. It says, "There is no cloud. It's just someone else's computer." You can see in the photo, a blue sky, there's no cloud. It's just my MacBook. I hope you like this joke. Okay, I had always treated cloud as an infrastructure, and that's someone else's job. Until one day, I suddenly changed. What made me change from a Java developer to a cloud architect? This is the story I'm going to tell my grandson one day. But today, I'm going to give you a preview. I joined Fidelity in October 2015. That's the last one on the bottom, as a DevOps engineer. Many companies at that time, they started a cloud journey. Fidelity is also planning to start their cloud journey. So my manager asked the team to learn Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS, and get certified. I was very scared. At that time, I didn't know AWS at all. How could I get certified? What if I failed that exam? I would wasted $150 exam fee. The associate cost $150, and that was 30 burgers in 2016. Just on a side note, the certification exam becomes cheaper since it just costs 15 burger now instead of 30 in 2016. The major concern I have actually is I worried people would judge me and shame me if I failed that exam, because I have no knowledge of AWS at all. So I didn't take any action. 8 months passed quickly. Everybody have this experience. If you don't do anything, the time flies. In May 2016, the company become very determined to get people certified. And I might have lost my bonuses or even employment if I didn't get certified by the end of the year. That fear of losing bonuses was much bigger than the fear of wasting $150 exam fee. And I started reluctantly. Can you guess what happened next? In less than 2 weeks, I got the first certification. Only 2 weeks. All those overthinking, hesitation, and the procrastination turned out to be stupid. Because of that, I believe people saw me as a slacker, and I lost many opportunities to move ahead. You may say, if you had started immediately when your manager asked you to get certified, your career path would have been totally different, and you might still work in that company. That's exactly right. But there is no time machine to take me back in time to change the beginning. What I can do is start now and change the future. As a Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The best time to start a cloud journey is 10 years ago. The second best time is now. You may ask, why not start your cloud journey 20 years ago? The reason is 20 years ago, there was no cloud computing. They started in 2015. That's the first available services. 2005. A career advice I wish I got when I was 20 years old is no overthinking. Just do it. Do it now. From a zero to hero in 4 months. When you see this slide, you may ask, wait a minute, is this talk about your journey on Google Cloud? Why do you talk about AWS now? Yes, I will talk about my journey on Google Cloud, but I didn't go to Google Cloud directly. I started my cloud journey from AWS, and this Gantt chart shows the timeline of how long it took me to become fully certified on AWS. I started on May 16th. I used the A Cloud Guru training. The founder of the A Cloud Guru, Liang, Cronenberg, was also the instructor, and I followed him on LinkedIn. After I followed Liang, I noticed so many people were taking the certifications, and every day, there are more than 60 people become certified in the solution architect. I was inspired by those people. So I set a goal to achieve all of them as soon as possible. In 2016, there was only 5 AWS certification. Not like that, there are 12 now. I didn't set a deadline because I don't know how long it would take me. I just put all my spare time into learning AWS. No movie, no TV, no Netflix, no parties. When I started, I didn't know what to do after getting certified, but I decided to get them, then figure out what to do later. With that goal, I became highly motivated and focused. I studied 1 hour in the morning, 2 hours at night, every day during the work days, and 4 hours every day on weekends. It took me 4 months to become fully certified, from zero to hero. And I became obsessed with AWS from the preparation of these 5 certifications. In 2016, there were so many success stories on LinkedIn that I follow Ryan Kunenberg. He liked other people's posts, so I get notified. I saw so many success stories. I was very excited about opportunity AWS could provide. With 5 AWS certification, I thought I could find a cloud job easily, but it turned out to be much more challenging than I anticipated. I failed interview with Dell Technology, Amazon Web Services, AWS, and IBM. And I even didn't get a response from many companies I applied for. It was so frustrating at a certain point. I almost gave up. I'm very thankful for that employer. Whenever I decided to give up, there was always something happening which pushed me moving forward. I kept applying. Finally, after 2 months searching, Deloitte offered me a job in their newly created AWS Center of Excellence as a senior manager. What was my feeling for getting the first job in the cloud? I will never forget that feeling. And I'm also going to tell my grandson one day. Have you watched the movie, The Pursuit of Happiness? In the end, Chris Gardner got the internship from Dean Witter. He cried with happy tears. My feeling was exactly that type. The job I got was in Lake Mary, Florida. In order to put the food in the cloud, I decided to relocate. It was the tipping point of my career. I'm very grateful for those people who made this happen. I joined Deloitte in February 2017. 1 week later, I already got a job, a project to build a data lake on AWS for a financial company. And it looked very certain that I would have a bright future working on AWS. If that's the case, today, I wouldn't be here to tell my story. You probably want to find out what happened. What happened? Meanwhile, in a parallel universe, something was cooking. In 2016, Google rebranded a business unit as Google Cloud and planned Google Cloud Next conference in March 2017. That was just 3 weeks away from the time I started a new job. I was very eager to attend that cloud conference since I was curious how Google Cloud could catch up with AWS. Since I just started a job, would my request to attend be approved? I wasn't sure. But if I don't ask, the answer is always no. So I expressed my interest in attending this conference. I was very surprised that my request was approved immediately. That was totally a game changer. It opened up the door to Google Cloud. You may ask, you were already an expert in AWS, and it would have provided you a great career path. Why did you start learning Google Cloud? Especially at that time, Google Cloud was uncertain. The reason is multi-cloud. I envisioned the world in multi-cloud, just like Coke, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper in the soft drink market, Marriott, Hilton, and the Hyatt in the hotel, American, United, and the Delta in the airline business. There will be a market for as many cloud and make them successful. For individual like me, knowing multi-cloud will pave the way for me to get where I want to be. But that was a long-term goal. I still haven't reached it yet. And there is a need to set up small goals to break out a long-term goal into a atomic, actionable small goals. This was me at the certification launch. Google just released 2 certifications at that time and give t-shirt and hat to whoever signed up the exam. So I signed up. They would give hoodie after people become certified. I like these 2 hoodie. So I set a goal to get certified by the end of the year. Please don't laugh. These 2 hoodie seriously motivated me. I like them. I think it would be cool if I wear them at the client office. So what changed the course, my cloud journey, was the keynote speech from a Google Cloud CEO, Diane Green. In her keynotes, Diane Green announced that Google targeted to become the largest cloud service provider, which means an opportunity for everybody. And the early adopters would become the kings and queens in the game. I was on board. inspired by Diane Green's keynote speech, I planned to establish a Google Cloud team inside the Deloitte Lake Mary office. From that very moment, my cloud journey branched out onto Google Cloud. In June 2017, I came to Google Boston office for a meeting and met a Google Cloud architect from Italy. He was certified in both data engineer and the cloud architect. We worked on a proposal for a data engineering platform. It was a week of extensive brainstorming and discussion. By Friday, I felt ready for the data engineer exam. I registered to take it on Saturday when I come back from Boston. But I missed the connection flight at the Chicago airport. When I finally reached the home, it was already Saturday morning. I only have a couple hours before the exam. So I just slept a couple hours, got up, and went to the test center. And I passed. It was the first certification I got after joining Deloitte. When I prepared for this certification, there weren't many study material available. I had to read through the documentation using the exam guide. Based on exam guide, I just searched them and found the documentation and read through. And this learning approach actually helped me to clear many better exams. So later on, Google released the new exam. There's no study material available. I just used the study guide, search, and found the documentation to prepare. Jenny Fauti, the CEO of Deloitte Consulting, congratulated me in an email. She's a CEO of 50,000 people, but she sent me a personal email. I feel so motivated. So what this map has anything to do with certifications? On Monday, September 25th, 2017, I will be going to a GCP project as the chief architect in Bay Area. Before I boarded the plane on Sunday, I took the exam in a test center 80 miles away from my home, which was the only test center open on Sunday. I want to have that certification before going to the client, since I want to talk intelligently about the Google Cloud at the first meeting. And I passed. My number is 603. There were more than 70,000 certified Google Cloud architects now. I was among the first 1%. This is the timeline for these two certifications I got. After coming back from a Google Cloud Nest, I prepared and took the data engineer in April. Unfortunately, I failed. Then I changed it to prepare for the cloud architect and took it in May, but also failed. After I come back from Boston, I took the data engineer again and passed. And 1 week later, I took the cloud architect, but failed. Google only allow people attempt 3 times for each certification within 1 year. After I failed 2 times, I only have one chance left. If I failed that again, I would need wait for another year. So I prepared longer, spent another 2 months. I just want to be safe to clear it. It is my last bullet. I read more online documentations, practiced on Google Cloud Console using the $300 credit Google gave me. I attempted again in September before going to the GCP project and passed. So all this learning journey is just like a toddler trying to learn to walk, but falling a lot. And he crawled to make progress. I got these 2 hoodies. Maybe for many people, these 2 hoodies are too small that can be ignored. 2 hoodies, who cares? But it is very significant for me. These hoodies motivated me to put effort into learning a new skill. What I gained from doing it is far more significant than these 2 hoodies. After I passed the exam, I drove 80 miles back home and boarded a flight to San Jose. Next day, on Monday, I officially started my journey on Google Cloud Platform. By the way, if you never use the Google Cloud, you will be able to get $300 credit from Google to practice, to learn. That will help you to learn a new skill. This is my entire journey on GCP certification. I started in 2017 after coming back from Google Cloud Next. Up to 2018, it was crawling. Not just crawling. I fell down 3 times in 1 year, but I got up 4 times. 2019 and 2020, walking. I became fully certified with 6 certifications before Google Cloud Next 2019, and only fell down 3 times in 2 years. I'm the number 33 Google Cloud DevOps engineer in the world. While I left Deloitte in September 2019 and then joined the McKinsey. While working for McKinsey in New York City, I took the DevOps engineer beta exam. It was a cold morning and I got a headache from the cold winter since I just moved to New York City 2 weeks ago. I didn't want to waste the registration fee, so I took it anyway. There were 100 questions in a beta exam. My headache got worse and worse. After 3 hours, I completed all 100 questions. I still have 1 hour left. Beta exam, there are 4 hours for the beta exam. I still have 1 hour left to review the answers, but I couldn't stand the headache any longer. I submitted right away. When you prepare for beta exam, there is no practice exam. You don't know whether you are ready or not. You just attempt based on your knowledge on the subject. For this reason, a beta exam is more challenging and give more credibility. Among the 11 certifications I have on Google Cloud, 9 of them are from beta exam. So my number is very low. Network engineer, number 19. Security engineer, number 32. Database engineer, number 17. One downside of the beta exam is you have to wait for 2 months to get the result. When the result came for the DevOps engineer, I already started a new job back to Texas. In that job, I didn't work on Google Cloud, but I continued the learning journey by doing certifications. Then I joined Accenture on July 14th, 2021. One day before joining Accenture, I became fully certified in GCP with all 10 certifications. If you ask, what benefit of having certifications? It's exactly an example what benefit of certification have. I used to be a Java developer, and I reinvented myself as a cloud architect. Now, how did I reinvent? I used a certification guided learning. All these certifications exist for a reason. They are certifications teaching you what cloud is and what services are available. They teach you what you can do with cloud. For this purpose, digital cloud leader. They are high-level architecture certification, teaching you how to put together a solution and use it to solve a business problem. For that purpose, professional cloud architect. There are also specialty certifications teaching people how to implement the design, such as networking, security, DevOps, and data engineering. Just like a DevOps blurred boundary between development and operation, a cloud blurred the boundary between infrastructure and the application. You no longer write code from scratch. You just put together a solution using different services, like assembling Lego parts. If a data engineer understands networking, they can design a solution with consideration of where they store the data. Once you understand the networking, you will understand moving data is not free and not instantaneously. Also, a data engineer needs to understand data encryption and the data compliance and the governance. The security engineer certification comes with detailed learning material to teach people that. These certifications are designed by the industrial strength certification designers. You can see it covers from a machine learning and data engineering, application modernization, and the infrastructure modernization. In the machine learning, as the problem getting more complex, a data scientist and the machine learning engineer cannot solve a problem all by themselves. It requires a collaboration from a team of data scientists, data engineers, and the application developers. In order to orchestrate the collaboration, DevOps approach was introduced into data analytics. In order to learn that, you can use Google Cloud DevOps Engineer certification to learn the principle and the practice of DevOps. Then you can adopt the practice into machine learning as ML Ops. All this certification is designed to help people to get the minimum required qualification to do certain job. After you learn this certification, you will be able to start exploring the opportunity. But of course, no one can become an expert just by doing certifications. You need to look for project opportunity. That was the reason I searched for opportunity to work on cloud after becoming fully certified on AWS. But I didn't stay in AWS. I started to work as a Google Cloud. Since the skill I learned from AWS are transferable into Google Cloud. As long as you learn one cloud in depth, it will be relatively easy to work on different cloud. Just it needs to be in depth. I started a project in June last year. At the beginning, I was onboarded as a SRE engineer. In order to understand architecture, I draw a diagram with most important elements in the system and share the diagram with the team. The senior leaders on the project, director, VP, and the SVP, they realized that I could have a bigger impact to work as an architect. So they transferred me into the architecture team to work on the solution design. And I helped the data analytic team resolving many challenges on the networking, security, as well as infrastructure as code. This is my journey on Google Cloud until now. And I hope my story can inspire you to start your cloud journey. The best time to start a cloud journey is 10 years ago. The second best time is now. If you want more motivation, please follow me on LinkedIn. There are more than 71,000 cloud people following me. Last year, I was invited to Google Cloud Next and met many old friends. This year, I will try to come to Google Cloud Next 23, and I hope to see you there. Back to you, James.
All right. Watching all your running has made me yeah, it's data exams. That is definitely the hardest ones to try out. They're brand new questions, topic. You're blazing the pathway forward. So we did while you were presenting, we did end up having some items in the
I didn't watch the chat. Yeah, let's go over some of them.
Yep, I'll read them off, and then we can some of them were answered by people in the chat as well. So maybe we'll catch those. The first one that I see is from G. Isaac. His question would be on a programming background, because you started as a Java programmer, but do you think Java or a programming background is a must to start a cloud career? If you think it's a must, what kind of experience do you think someone should have with programming?
It is not a must. I happen to be a Java developer. In the cloud journey, I met people from every background, from dentist, from school teacher, Uber driver, everybody who put 6 months, put 6 months effort into learning will see the result. You don't need to have a programming background at all. That's what, trust me, a lot of people achieve that by just putting into effort.
All right. No, so programming, if you have it, great.
Yep.
If you don't have it, just start and you'll figure out what you need to add along the way.
Exactly.
All right. Looking down the list from Chandra Pat. Chandra's an Oracle DBA working as an on-prem DBs, would like to switch to be a cloud DBA. He doesn't have any idea how he could make it happen. What thoughts do you have on making that transition?
Just start by learning some cloud basics, like what cloud is, by doing the fundamental one. For Google, it is a digital cloud leader. Once you finish that, you can move on to cloud architect. So cloud architect will teach you many services in a high level for you to understand in depth. Then there is a specialty exam called database engineer. And that is very helpful for you to make a transition from an on-prem database into cloud database. There are a lot of principles remain the same, even in the cloud. It's just how you manage the infrastructure, how you manage the backup, all those things has been automated. So it doesn't require a lot of a manual DBA anymore. And knowing how to design the data model may put you into an advantage. How we, yeah.
Okay, so the infrastructure part, maybe the cloud starts doing those, but those parts, if you're a specialist on Oracle, knowing the internals of Oracle, how it works, how to set up schemas, you can focus a lot of time, and the rest of it is understanding how the cloud is providing that data service, maybe taking on some of the responsibilities for work that's maybe not as fun, and you can focus on the business side and the schemas, users, security of the database.
Yeah, and there are not much Oracle in the Google Cloud. So in the Google Cloud, it's still in the GCVE. And there are another cloud provider, Oracle. They have a managed Oracle database. If you have passion in the Oracle product, you can take a look at Oracle Cloud to see whether that can help you. You don't have to choose one cloud. There's so many cloud vendors. Just like you go into a trip, you don't have to always stay Marriott. You can stay Hilton, Hyatt. Just what I did. I started AWS and then I moved on to Google Cloud, and I enjoyed it so far.
All right, cool. Scrolling through, looks like Ramji gave some additional comments there. Yeah, Cloud's digital leader and GCP data engineer certifications. There are Anita recommends checking out Cloud Skill Boost, where they have some hands-on labs. Some are free. I guess you did mention, Yujun, one of the places to practice is to get your own Google. Google offers some free services along with that.
Free services as well as a $300 credit. I haven't checked whether that is still available. I hope it's still available for any initial Google Cloud user. You will be given $300 credit.
All right. Someone asked about certifications. There are 12, and you're the proud recipient of 12 of those.
I only have 11. There are another certification. It requires some experience and the interview process, like the Google Cloud Fellow. I'm
yes,
working on that. I hope I can get that as well, but right now I still don't have it.
That is the hardest one, the very hardest one to get, and the very few Google Cloud Fellows. So it'll be interesting to see if that one comes in some 2023.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, scrolling through the Tim Hans asks, when you've had some experience not passing, do they tell you which parts and topics that you did better on and which sections you did worse on, so you can prepare for the next exam? Is there any feedback from the cloud exam that gives you some insights?
Google doesn't tell you, it even doesn't tell you how much you got. It just pass and fail. No further information. You have to get that. Unlike other, like AWS, Azure, they have a breakdown how well you did in each section. Google didn't do that and doesn't do that now. I hope they do it, but I have no control. Yeah, maybe we keep requesting.
Yeah, keep requesting and see if they get overloaded with requests.
Yeah.
From their customer. Well, maybe we should do this.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, Nitin posted that $300 is still available for playing around with cloud.google.com. And if they don't, please reach out to Nitin. I'm sure he'll be willing to pay you the money. So
that's awesome.
So, I was going to make a joke, but let's keep going on the questions.
Yeah.
Ken, not Ken, but Keith, wondering, of all the certifications that you've been able to pass on Amazon, Google, do you have one that stands out as the toughest exam that you passed?
I used to be a Java developer. So when I first got the networking, that's really tough. The first one I got is AWS Advanced Networking. It took me 4 attempts to clear it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But now it become easier for me since I worked in the cloud for so many years.
Yeah, the one starting from the developer side, maybe you knew infrastructure a little bit, but maybe didn't pay attention. Didn't need to pay attention, but now with the cloud, it's the whole stack from the Java all the way through networking and VMs and everything that's there. All right, so
there are also some hands-on certification, like Kubernetes related, CKA, CKAD, and CKS. Kubernetes security specialist.
Yep.
The security specialist is pretty tough.
Oh, because it's not a multiple choice. You have to go into an environment and do it. All right.
Yeah, they are hands-on. Just like you work in the corporate, you get a Jira ticket and solve the problem and mark done. Actually, that that workload is maybe some workload for a developer in one day, but you need to finish that in 2 hours.
All right. Yeah. So if you're looking to go into Kubernetes certifications, just beware. They're hands-on, and sounds like they're pretty tough.
Yeah, and also Kubernetes right now, a lot of data engineering vendors support Kubernetes, like a Databricks. All these vendors release their software on GKE engine.
Google, so the things that you'll be using for data engineering will be running on top of Kubernetes.
Exactly.
So excuse me. So it would help you understand what's going wrong or happening with your application if you understand Kubernetes and the application.
Yeah.
All right. Nilanjan Bose was wondering if you would first go for the cloud associate or the cloud architect. Definitely cloud digital leader is like a baby step, which you've mentioned already. And then was there the ACE or the cloud architect? Is there either one of those that you'd go for first?
I recommend from the digital cloud leader. That's the easiest. And then go to a cloud architect. Depends on your job role. You may not need the associate engineer. It's better to have. It's not a must to have. And
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that one. Teresa Martinez, you've spoken of grandson, and the stories that you had planned to share. What's the greatest lesson or that you plan to share with your grandson from the crawl, walk, run journey?
So the most important thing, I believe, is no overthinking. Just do it. Do it now.
That's very succinct and great, great to hear.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of people are afraid of failure because they are afraid that people will judge them and shame them, and that it will delay their process. That's not necessary. If you want to do something, just do it. Don't worry about how other people look at you. That's something I can share.
All right. On the Jitendra Gupta has a question on AI/ML. Cloud have been big for a while. AI/ML is another one of the big things that have been coming up. What's your opinion? What do you think about AI/ML and its impact on present or future job descriptions or requirements? Any thoughts that you've been having on that?
I think AI will become huge, especially last year. People know ChatGPT came out and is still very early. We don't know what impact it will give us, but it is definitely a direction the technology is moving towards. Like Microsoft invested a lot of money into ChatGPT. I guess Google will spend some effort to catch up in this place. That will create a lot of jobs. So be optimistic. The job will be coming in your way. You just need to be prepared.
All right. Yes. Kay Wu has a question. Working in GCP now with your background in AWS, will you recommend your clients or teams to convert to AWS to GCP as common sense? Are you seeing that is like way better or the clear winner, or what? Or if you talk to somebody that's already on AWS and they're happy with it, do you bother having a conversation?
And this it will take another hour just to explain the difference between these three clouds. Just in short, it is a very challenging task to compare. You need to understand your customers' business vision, their purpose, what they try to achieve. Some of them with different skill level of their own staff as well. Some company had been running data center for a while. They have people good at the infrastructure. So they tend to choose the infrastructure as service layer. As to some company, they don't manage data center. They have a lot of developers, and then they prefer the services of developer friendly. I can say Google services are developer friendly. There are a lot of API for you to use. You can assemble an application pretty quickly on Google Cloud. And what else? Oh, James, you also had experience in multi-cloud. What's your take on this?
Yeah, so I don't have as many multi-clouds as Yujun, but I am certified on Amazon, Google, and Microsoft Azure. And yeah, each have their own strengths, weaknesses. Even though all three of them say have networking, the networking is slightly different.
Exactly.
You know, yes, it uses same types of IPv4 addresses, but they're slightly different. If somebody had all their skills on AWS and they've built on AWS, there's some time to move, because we had been in a multi-cloud journey for a while. We started on AWS, we're adding Azure, and then adding Google. Running 3 clouds was pretty complicated, so we decided to narrow down to Google One at that point. Once you've done one cloud, it is easier to do another cloud. But if you've invested on one cloud, making that turn, there's some time that it takes to make the turn. I haven't seen any magic dust out there that lets you just magically switch back and forth. Yeah, so there's learning. Would I immediately push to disrupt somebody's? If I walked into customer and they were AWS or they were Azure, only if I saw something that wasn't meeting their business needs. Maybe there'd be a conversation there. But if they're happy with it, you can make a business on those clouds. On other clouds, they all have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yes, and also the skill you learn from one cloud is very transferable to the other cloud.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The reason I can become a Google Cloud architect in so short time is because I already learned a lot of AWS.
Once you learn one, it's just learning the names. Learning some new names, so learning some new vocabulary, and then maybe digging into the nuances of how this one is slightly different. So when you answer the question for Google networking, okay, here my VPC is global. I just add subnets per region instead of Amazon. Okay, I have to go into a region, create a VPC, and then my subnets are trapped in an availability zone. That type of thing. So it is much easier. Learning the rest, it is a lot faster. All right, I'm going to see if there's any questions in the general chat. Roger White does have one. See a particular cloud that is better on AI ML than the others?
I actually don't have much experience in AI in the other cloud. I know Google Cloud has outstanding AI and machine learning services like BigQuery, Vertex AI, all these services.
Mm-hmm.
I know AWS also provides SageMaker. I'm not that familiar with Azure, but I believe these world-class vendors, they will compete with each other for majority of the enterprise. They have to spend time to really dig into the services to find out what they are looking for. That's a better approach. In this talk, I don't think I'm able to just give you a responsible answer on this question.
Yeah.
This way.
And it also depends on the skills of your data scientists, skills of your infrastructure guys, because each of the clouds will have something that's very not bare bones, but a little bit like infrastructure as a service is on pure hardware. They're like, you can tweak all the bells and whistles, but you have to do more work, all the way up to something like, it's just an API. I can send this API text and it tells me if there's any sensitive data in there, which is using AI. It's basically AI as a service. It's for a specific purpose, or maybe I send it a photo and it tells me back something photo. So it all depends on what you're trying to do with the AI ML, and each they're all competing with for sure, and trying to win as much business as possible there. All right, so I think we've drained the questions, and Yujun, thank you for coming to tell us your story of how you started out from absolutely nowhere in cloud, and now every day on LinkedIn, constantly encouraging people to learn cloud, that today is the day to start. So if you've been waiting on starting learning cloud, once we're done with this meeting, sign up for your free Google Cloud account. Sign up for a Cloud Guru, or you don't even need to sign up, but go into the Google documentation and start reading and experimenting. Look up the Cloud Digital Leader and what things are there, and read up on those.
Oh,
So
by the way, I mentioned the A Cloud Guru because that was the course available in 2016. Now there are a lot more training courses available, so you don't have to just choose one. There are a lot of options now.
Yes, there are definitely a lot of options compared to back then.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jim, Yujun, the challenge is there are so many options and you have very little time. What suggestions would you give for people in terms of picking the resources that are good?
I would suggest to use the training provided by vendor. Like each vendor, Google, AWS, Azure, they all provide a training material for people to use, like the skill boost from Google Cloud. That's awesome. A lot of company just sponsor it. If your company sponsor you to use other training site, that's fine. You can just follow along, but the vendor provide the training material which is free, and that's you can take advantage of.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
And a lot of it for me as I would study, just sounds similar to what you're doing, Yujun, going documentation for those things, for those services that will be on the test.
Yeah.
What is this service? Reading the FAQ, maybe not reading the full 1,400 pages of the EC2 user guide. That's probably too much. But at least get loaded into your brain the important things from the FAQ. What is this thing? How does it work?
I think it will take your lifetime to finish reading all the documentation.
Yeah. Don't overdo it. Just enough. Just enough. All right. Yes. So thank you for joining us.